Welcome, people, to yet another edition of the Daily Bellringer. There are not that many of these left, only a dozen or so before we get to the Regents exam. So let's take advantage of them while we can. Have some fun, yeah. All right, let's talk some more about relationships. Remember yesterday I wanted you to know the 3 different types of relationships. And we had our guest instructor yesterday, Dr. Phil, talk with us about them. So let's review that today in our Bellringer, shall we? All right. Hey now. Mr. Kovacs class. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs class.
He's interesting too.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Kovacs class. Howdy, y'all. I'm Dr. Phil, and today we're going to talk about relationships. I've got 3 couples here who each have a different relationship in which they're going to discuss their feelings towards each other and how they feel the relationship is going. How does that sound to y'all today on the Dr. Phil Show? Dr. Phil, if you remember yesterday, we had 3 different couples here and they all described their relationships to each other. Let's see if you can remember. Remember our first couple? Right, our first couple was the one where it was the tree, and then living in the thorns in the tree with these ants. And they had a very close relationship, right? If you remember that relationship, the tree was happy, the ants were happy. Ants were happy with the relationship because they were getting fed sugar from the tree made through photosynthesis. The tree was happy because the ants would come rush out and bite herbivores like giraffes and things on the face if they tried to eat the leaves of the tree. Win, win, happy, happy, lovey-dovey, right? This kind of relationship was called mutualism. Mutualism, happy, happy, mutualism. We met couple number 2. Couple number 2 was a little different, right? We had the pseudoscorpion and the big longhorn beetle. And if you remember, the pseudoscorpion lived on the back of the beetle. The pseudoscorpion loves this relationship. It's very good for the pseudoscorpion. The beetle could care less. Meh, I could care less. I don't care. Happy? I don't care. Happy, very different from our first couple. Happy? I don't care. Happy? Not affected. Wins? Not affected. Benefits? Not affected. We call this commensalism. 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 Commensalism, happy and not affected. Commensalism. Call perhaps our most interesting of the 3 relationships yesterday was the 3rd and final relationship when I introduced you to the snapper, the fish, and her pal, well, not so much her pal, but the relationship she had with the tongue-eating sea louse. Remember that yesterday? Yeah. Right? In this relationship, the sea louse, right, would sneak in, eat the tongue of the fish, and then replace it. Just sit there, letting the fish live its life, right? It was good for the louse. It's got this nice, safe place to live. The fish is going around eating food, delivering food right to it. It's awesome for the sea louse. The fish, not so much. The fish, of course, is harmed by this relationship. The fish is what we call the host. The tongue-eating sea louse is who we call the parasite. In this relationship where one is harmed and the other benefits, one wins, the louse, one loses, the fish. Win, lose, that's called parasitism. Parasitism, right? Parasite and the host in parasitism. So there are 3 kinds of symbiotic relationships that you need to know. Let's review them one more time. 3 different types of symbiotic relationships that you need to know. Let's review. Let's say the first one was where they were both happy. That was called mutualism. 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 Happy, happy. Happy, happy. The second one where it was happy and meh. Happy and whatever. happy and I don't care. That's called commensalism. Commensalism. And then the third most interesting type was the happy and sad, happy and harmed, which we call parasitism. The one that's being harmed is the host. The one that's doing the harming, the happy one, is the parasite. That is the most interesting, and of the three, the most common. Parasitism is by far the most common relationship we'll find out there in nature between organisms. The second most common would be mutualistic. And the least common, some might argue that it doesn't even really exist, but the least common would be commensalism. Right? Three different types of symbiotic relationships. Live them, love them, learn them, and then learn them again. You'll see them on the regions. That's right. That's three types of symbiosis, y'all. There's mutualism, commensalism, and of course our favorite, parasitism. You gotta live, love, and learn those three types of relationships. This is Dr. Phil signing off. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.